Good morning and welcome back to the Lovin Dubai show where we take you through the top trending stories of what is happening in and around the city. I am Simran and unfortunately I am alone this morning. Shahir is off sick. Hope he feels better very soon. And Casey is off in the Alps having the best time of her life, but she'll be back next week. So very excited for that. Now today's stories are residents mistake Dubai Pearl's demolition for an earthquake, and this happened yesterday. And Emirates tests out sustainable fuel. More on that as well. Immersive Gamebox experiences open up at Magic Planet. We'll reveal the locations later on in the show. And right after all of that, we will be talking about the significance of going vegan with Priyansh, Parekh, and it is a Veganuary special segment. So do stay tuned for that. It'll be very interesting. He is super young and has started off just starting his own company, and he's, I think, in the midst of writing a cookbook and so much going on. Very inspiring. But you guys, good morning. Good morning. It's just you and I today. And I was on Instagram yesterday and this morning, and I think all over our feeds, whether we follow or not, the whole Kylie Jenner outfit for the fashion show that she attended, Schiaparelli's, yeah, the fashion show that she attended yesterday or day before, and like the entire lion outfit. It's just so interesting, like where fashion is going. And then Doja Cat, she wore this like head to toe. She was covered in like thousands and thousands of Swarovski crystals. You could only see her eyes and nothing else. So it's so, like, my point is, like, fashion is just going taking such a different route, right? We are evolving so much, yet the one thing we're still not getting is pockets. Like, still, I think women have just, we've begged and we've cried for pockets, but we're still not getting it. All we want are pockets in our coats, in our blazers, in our pants, in our shorts. That's all we want, pockets. But no, I think fashion has evolved a lot, but that one thing that is still such a need, such a requirement we're not getting, which is pockets. If you guys agree, let me know, comment below, and we will read that out. Good morning, you guys. I wish Shahir was here to do Shahir shoutouts, and then we could have just said hi to all of you in Shahir's little, how he just hypes up the day with his shoutouts. It's the cutest thing. Snab, hello. Hello, love. He said hello, love in Dubai. Omi, thank you for joining. Who else is there? Arjun, Anan, Abdullah, Noah, Sandeep. Good morning to all of you guys. Christia, Karma, Farah. Thank you all for joining. Okay, so let's talk about what happened yesterday. Now, residents mistook Dubai Pearl's demolition for an earthquake. Now, Dubai Pearl is currently undergoing demolition as new projects are looking to take shape in this setting instead. However, residents living in Dubai Media City, Marina, Tecom, the Greens, and areas close by mistook the building implosion tremors for an earthquake yesterday, which was Monday morning around 11 a.m. But rest assured, there was no earthquake in the city. Now, netizens took to Twitter and Instagram to share visuals of the demolition and concerns about the aggressive tremors around the vicinity. So basically, after 21 years, incomplete buildings at Dubai Pearl are being cleared out to make way for potential prospects. Now, backed by a Canadian firm, the ambitious moon-shaped resort is definitely a potential, and the game-changing $5 billion project, which is equivalents to 18.3 billion dirhams, it will be situated in Dubai Pearl. Now, that is a possibility and something that residents are looking forward to. The city is looking forward to. If that project does take shape, it'll be really cool. The Moon Resort will have so many facilities. It'll also enhance the whole, space sector, because it's going to have a lot of initiatives to do with space. And of course, traveling to the moon will soon just be a car ride away for us Dubai peeps if this development becomes a reality. So you can see the visuals beside us on YouTube and Twitter and Facebook. Instagram you can't, but I'm sure you'll see it on our feed later today. But it's such an interesting project. Like, just imagine those living in the neighborhood, like in your backyard, there's just going to be one giant moon-shaped, resort. It's just going to be fantastic. And of course, Dubai doesn't do anything halfway. If it's going to replicate the moon, it's definitely going to do it in a way that's, going to have you looking non-stop. It's not going to be like a half attempt or anything. So it's going to be interesting if that goes ahead. But of course, like for the time being, there is a lot of noise in the area. There's a lot of yesterday there was a lot of like dust, and people were going to take pictures and visuals, and they shared that with us on Lovin Dubai. And by the way, if you guys do see things like this happening around the city, do send us your pictures and videos. We do share them, and of course give you all the credit. So keep them coming and let us know what's happening around the city. Now we move on to our next story, sustainability, all about Emirates testing out the sustainable fuel. Now, Emirates has successfully completed the ground engine testing for one of its planes using fully sustainable aviation fuel. So, what is it that we're talking about exactly, and what are the benefits of sustainable fuel? So sustainable air fuel, which is SAF, reduces carbon emissions over the fuel's life cycle by 80%. Now, the testing was needed to demonstrate the capability of the engine to fully run on the specially blended fuel without affecting its performance. Now, the results will pave way for the airline's first experimental test flight, fully using the fuel in one engine, which is due for takeoff this week. Now, this may go over your head, but sustainability right now is a major focus for the UAE, the government, and a lot of entities. Because, of course, like we all know, and this news came out earlier last year about the environmental vision and the UAE's environmental vision 2030. Now, this identifies 5 priority areas, which is climate change, minimizing the impact of climate change, and then clean air and noise pollution, contributing to safe and healthy living conditions, water resources, efficient management and conservation of water resources, and we have so many more goals. Now they're going to be focusing on biodiversity, waste management, clean air, and noise pollution. So all of these steps, of course, we also know that Emirates is a big supporter of SAF, and whatever developments come in that area, they will be the first to experiment. They'll be the first to take it on board and make sure it's implemented across the board, basically worldwide, not just their Dubai or UAE operations. It's going to affect operations worldwide. And it's very impressive, the fact that all entities always just go in line with whatever the government has in store or whatever the government vision is, and in this case the government vision is Environment Vision 2030. So basically by the year 2030 they aim to achieve all of these goals, and the priority is obviously current value, threshold value, sustainability value, which refers to the ultimate desirable target for the state of environment in order to be sustainable. And it is such a big topic of discussion right now, sustainability. Like, we've been talking about this for years and years and years, but as we really bear the brunt of global warming, we see the importance of us, to take these steps and actually fully dive into the sustainability movement, reduce plastic, reduce meat consumption, which we'll be talking about later on the show with Priyansh, who is the founder of Brunch Kitchen, and he is all about that vegan lifestyle. His food is amazing. Haven't tried it yet, but I stalk him like crazy on Instagram, and you can just tell from his feed that the food looks very appetizing, all vegan, and that's another movement towards sustainability. And of course, he is well in line with the UAE's 2030 vision. But before we speak to Priyansh, let's talk about immersive Gamebox experiences that have opened up at Magic Planet. So Magic Planet City Center Mirdif and Magic Planet City Center Zaya are officially home to the region's first hyper-immersive gaming experience. Now we're talking seriously slick, immersive game boxes, which are interactive, digital smart rooms featuring cutting-edge technologies, bringing you a one-of-a-kind experience that are quite literally like none you can find anywhere else. And what's really cool about Magic Planet is how they've managed to integrate their games with smash hit games, from Squid Games to Angry Birds and tons more. So if you're looking to do something fun with your friends or with your kids this weekend or any weekend, Magic Planet, Gamebox. And the game center is perfect for groups of 2 to 6 players. It's one of my favorite places to party with the whole gang, and it's perfect for kids' parties. Now, our Lovin team will also be down there this week, and we'll be documenting all the different activities and games, so you can be well advised on what to take part in. And stay tuned on our Lovin Dubai stories and our Instagram page for all the deets there. We saw a couple of their videos, and what they are doing down there at Magic Planet is very cool, like how everything is just taking such a shift in terms of technology and virtual reality, all of that. So the amalgamation of all of this and make it a gaming activity, and it's just so that much more interesting, because that's what we want to see now, like that's where we're going. It's just gonna be so much fun, like something different for everyone to try out, and just it's you're gonna leave the place with lots of conversations and lots of things to just good memories and good things to talk about with your friends and families, and just rave about that. Oh, this cool experience you tried out at Magic Planet. You guys, if you have any questions, send them to us. Comment the questions below. We will answer them right now. Advaita, I see you. Good morning. Let's see who else is online. Meg Sky High, hello. Good morning to you. Hope you guys have an amazing day. Let me check who all are watching on Facebook as well. I'm sure Joanna is. I didn't check, but I hope he is. He is our #1 viewer. We absolutely love him. Okay. Zishan, good morning. You guys, after a very short break, we will go live with Priyansh, Parekh. So stay tuned for that. Guys, welcome back. Now, it is the end of Veganuary, and of course, like, it is not the end, it is around the corner, but that doesn't mean that you can't make the lifestyle changes all year long. And here to tell us more about the significance of the month and how a healthier lifestyle can be implemented indefinitely is vegan chef Priyansh Parekh from Punch Kitchen. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thanks so much for having me.
Of course. So I follow you like very diligently on Instagram, and I'm such a fan of your cooking and all your vegan recipes, although I never take it upon myself to make them. Just watching it is really nice.
Yeah, okay.
Were you always vegetarian who turned vegan, or how did this lifestyle change come about for you?
Yeah, so I was vegetarian, and then about almost 4 years ago now, I read about these fires in the Amazon. And the Amazon rainforest is like a place I've always wanted to go to. And so it really affected me. And I did some research, and it was like these were man-made fires to kind of clear out land for livestock and cattle and all that. And so it was pretty much overnight for me from then. I didn't know what veganism was. I didn't know like what I could eat, what I couldn't. I was just like, I don't want to be a part of this anymore.
That's so interesting.
And I just overnight, I hadn't watched a single documentary. I like knew nothing. I was basically, I had a few friends who were vegan, but again, there's like this level of ignorance when you're not vegan. You're like, oh, what do they eat? What is this? And I was one of those. And I was like, I would never go vegan before that. And I think every vegan at some point has said that they would never go vegan.
So that was your turning point when you saw and read about the Amazon fires and how we contribute towards it. So for you, what kind of a vegan are you? Like they say there's a social vegan, there's a health vegan. So was it?
Yeah, so there's 3 main reasons. I think there's more now, but it's either animals, planet, or health. And I went for the planet. But then once you enter this space, it's like everything else is complementary. You do all that research and you're like, oh, well, the animals shouldn't suffer. And your health is also like, it does pretty well once you're on this diet. So
it's incredible, honestly. What you've like this, it's not easy, like for sure. Like I'm a vegetarian, and for me to even turn vegan, it's just such a transition. You give up so much that you really love, and that's there like so openly, right? Like cheese and milk and dairy.
Of course,
it's difficult to find substitutes for that, especially when you're out eating with your friends and stuff. So how did you? Was it difficult for you the first initial couple of months?
Yeah, I mean. Yes, it definitely was, because a lot of it comes down to literacy. Once you understand what you can, what you can't eat, like now I don't even have to ask for certain things, like if there is dairy in it, for example. I already know. Like there are so many cultural dishes in different cultures that are accidentally vegan, where they just don't have dairy or meat, and that's what I already, like at this point I would already know what on the menu is that. So then I'd go for those options. But initially it was difficult, and there was a lot of like, oh, what are you going to eat, and blah, blah, blah. And like, you know, everyone around you is like, you know, so.
And to pull you back to where you were.
Well, I mean, I was very much like, I was really strong about it, because I knew I wasn't doing it for myself. And so when I initially did it, I was like, this is a sacrifice. But then the more I like studied, I was like, there's so much here. Like if you think about all the things you're going to get out of it rather than all the things you're going to give up, then that will keep you on this path stronger.
Do you feel like you found your purpose through this?
Yeah, I mean, I have a whole job now from this. Like if I didn't go vegan, I wouldn't have brunch, and I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing now. I wouldn't be here. So
yeah. So tell me about brunch. How did that start, and why did it start?
So again, it started from this, like, what do you eat? Like everyone's always asking me, and then so I made an Instagram account, and it was really just for my friends. It was just like a joke account, and it was for like maybe like 40 followers who were all my friends, and I just post like, this is what I ate today, and it would just be like at a restaurant or something like that, and then I started cooking a bit more, and I started putting like that, and my friends were like, wait, we didn't know you could cook. And I was like, it's normal. And then I started doing more and more and more, and then more people started following that weren't my friends, and I was like, what is going on? And then from there it started picking up, and I was like, maybe I could do something like this, and then we did my first pop-up, and then from there it just was a domino effect on everything else that happened.
Okay, and Veganuary, what is the significance of Veganuary, and just, you know, the significance of the movement, like the vegan movement?
So Veganuary is, it's a month in January. So in January, a lot of people challenge themselves to go vegan for this month, and it's a lot of to do with like New Year's resolutions and things like that. And Veganuary was created by a British organization, not too sure, but that's what they're called. They're called Veganuary, and it's a challenge for a month. So you try to eat more plant-based, or you try to go completely vegan for that month, and then it's basically just like, you know, dipping your foot in the waters and seeing if it works for you, what options there are. Really just in a challenge format. Like I feel like as humans, we'd do anything.
Yeah.
And so this kind of encourages people to really look into what there is.
Very true. And would you say for someone who eats meat on a regular basis, for them to make the transition to veganism, like straight away, is it a good idea? Or first, is it like in stages? Like first you go vegetarian and then vegan?
For sure. I think instead of just going cold turkey like I did, really just slowly understanding what you like and what you're going to miss, and then learning how to substitute one by one. My claim is not that everyone should go vegan in the whole world. What I want to do is to promote people to eat more plant-based, and to really help you understand that there's so many options that are for you. Like I don't think, like I'm not going to be like, you have to go vegan to do this. Like just try to have an open mind and try to try more things that, you know, that you probably wouldn't. You know, if you go to a restaurant and if there is a vegan option there that may look better than the meat option, and in so many places now we're starting to see that those options do look better. And they're starting to become more affordable as well. So yeah, just try to go for that plant-based option maybe.
Like we know, high demand increases supply. So when you guys go out to eat, always ask for vegan options, vegetarian options. At least that way the restaurants become aware that more people are looking for these. And that's number one. Number two, do tell. Okay, so I want to bust some myths with you now. Anytime you know, I just talk about vegetarianism or like meat or whatever it is, people go like, oh, so you are basically eating the food of animals. Right? So what do you say to that?
Well,
I'm sure you get it.
Yeah, all the time. I mean, the biggest one I get, and probably you would also get, is where do you get your protein from?
Yes.
And so this like, you're eating the food of my animals is kind of like answers that, is because that's where the animals are getting their protein from. And so they kind of become middlemen.
Yeah.
And it's like all that energy that they're eating is being used up, and then you get whatever's left as protein. And sure, like these sources are a lot more protein dense, like as meat. but they come with a lot of other things that you probably don't want,
Cholesterol,
like cholesterol and carcinogens now, and there's a lot of things now that.
Sorry, what did you say?
Carcinogens, like
Okay.
cancer-causing. So yeah, all these things that are like not good for you, but we do it for protein, and a lot of it comes from tradition, right? People are like, oh, we've been eating like this forever. Our grandparents have been eating like this. They're fine. Food was a lot different then.
Exactly.
And the systems around food were a lot different then. Agriculture was different then. So, these like traditional things don't really live up to the kind of way we are producing food now. So, yeah, I mean.
What other comments do you get a lot that you want to bust right now?
Protein's pretty much the biggest one. B12 is another one. B12, like a lot of people have no idea what B12 is, but they'll come and ask me, where do you get, like, aren't you deficient in B12? And this is like, no, B12 comes from the soil, and a lot of meat is rich in B12 because their food is like from the soil.
Yeah.
But a lot of food now is not from the soil. They get feed. And so that right, so even animals are not a good source of B12 anymore. Like people that eat meat are still deficient in B12. So it's just like eat more organic and eat more like GMO free, and that way and there are multiple like supplements that you like even non-vegans have to take now.
Yeah.
Just because of our current food system. Exactly.
So okay, fine. Now let's talk about just weight loss and weight maintenance, right?
Okay.
So how does that come about with being a vegan, and is there any impact from being a vegan to your weight?
Well, from a nutrition standpoint, I'm not too sure because everyone's body is very different. What I can say is that becoming vegan gave me a lot of like food independence in a way. I know exactly what's in my food, and because like sometimes you go out with your friends and you're like, is that vegan? And they will have no idea what's in it. That's why they're always asking you like, oh, can you eat that? Can you eat this? Can you eat this? And I've received this sort of food security where I know exactly what I'm eating and what's there. And my relationship with food completely changed after going vegan. I feel more like food as fuel rather than food as like an indulgence or things like that. So yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure like your relationship with food can change after you learn how to be plant-based, because you're really like looking at everything you eat and if that is something you can eat.
Yeah.
And so you know like each thing that's in there. You're reading ingredients constantly. You're like turning around like, is there egg? Is there milk? All that. So you're doing that extra step that not a lot of other people are doing because they can just pick up whatever they want and eat it.
So do you think after going vegan, your taste has evolved and now you look for more clean eats compared to like junk food?
Yeah, for sure. And flavor is king. Like we just even raw meat doesn't taste good, so you have to like season it with plants anyways. So might as well just season the plants with plants.
Yeah, and you make a lot of dishes that taste quite similar to meat.
Yeah, so that's kind of what I try to do is show people substitutes, because again, my whole goal is to make people eat more plant-based. And so if I can show people like, hey, this is something that you enjoyed eating, but here's a vegan version of it. And maybe it doesn't taste completely the same, but it's really close. And you can try and tweak it to like with seasoning, right? You can just try to use these different sources of protein like tofu, seitan, tempeh, all these things, and then make it your own. And so my whole job is to give you the tools to like, here's tofu, and these are the different ways of cooking tofu. Here's this, and here's different ways. And then you can take it and be like, I had this family recipe where maybe I could use this.
Yeah.
And I can substitute it with that.
Yeah.
And let's try and see if my family realizes or if they like it even.
Oh, and you've done these experiments quite a bit.
Oh yeah, I mean, happens all the time. Obviously, I've done a lot of pop-ups where we've got like these junk food pop-ups, and one of them we did these shawarma fries, and the shawarma meat was made from tofu, but we really like froze it and then thawed it, and it went through this rigorous process of like becoming like tearing meat.
Oh wow.
And then filled it up with all the spices that would go in a regular shawarma, and then we served it to people, and they all knew it was vegan, but a lot of them were very much like,
wow,
yeah, this just like, if I could eat this, I would just eat this all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Thanks for doing that for the community. Because people don't realize that you get these substitutes. And a lot of people also have to say, like, why are there always, like, you see vegan chicken, vegan beef? Like, if you're giving up meat, then why do you want that taste?
Yeah.
But the thing is, you're giving up meat, you're not giving up the taste, right?
Exactly.
So if you get the taste in a way that does not harm animals, why not?
Yeah, exactly. And most people go vegan not because they don't like the taste of meat.
Exactly.
It's because they want to change their current ways, their lifestyle, whether it's for the planet, whether it's for animals, or whether it's for their health. And if they get options to eat how they could eat before, surely it's going to be slightly different. But at least if it's anywhere close to that, then it's a pretty good deal.
Yeah, very true. Now, do you get annoyed? Like, if any time someone goes like reduce plastic, save the marine life, and then you see them eating fish. I
mean, we've seen a lot of like animal lovers who still eat meat.
Yeah.
And, I'm not annoyed at them per se. I think it's the disconnect that's there, and that disconnect is created by our current food systems. Is people just don't know what goes on with their food. Like, how is that piece of meat getting to their plate? Even the vegetable, how is it getting to them? We're so disconnected from like, let's not use this straw, but then let's order a fish on the same table. It's very much like we aren't able to join these two dots together, and that's because of how much information is out there, and there's like confirmation bias. So like anytime you read something online, you're like, yeah, this is correct because I already believe this. And there's so much research, and people will always be like, oh, but egg is good for you, for example.
They'll believe what they want to believe.
Exactly, and then you like scroll down to that research, and it's like funded by the Egg Society or something. So it's always like you have to like remove your bias from when you're doing like research about food.
Yeah.
Because it's so important. Like you could just get lost in that. Like, yeah, I believe this because it's what I've always believed.
Are there any other hypocrisies you want to address?
Well, I mean, this is pretty much the big one.
Like for example, the biggest one is like, saying, save the marine life, plastic, all of that, and then having fish. And then, of course, like the hypocrisy of loving animals, and then you eat, and then fashion and fur, like so many, like makeup, for example, and then being against animal cruelty, but then going for makeup brands that indulge in animal testing.
Yeah, but even we're seeing that with makeup brands now that are cruelty-free, but not vegan. And how are you one without the other? If you're still using animal products, that is still cruelty. Whether you're not testing it, you're still. So we're seeing like people go for what's cruelty-free, but it's still not vegan. And you're like, wow, how is it? How are they able to do one without the other?
Yeah.
These are pretty much the biggest ones. We see like these climate events, the really big ones, where the summits and things like that, they don't have vegan options. And you're like, this is meant to be the epitome.
It should only be vegan. Like,
it should be. This is the epitome of like of the future of like climate change and sustainability. So how come?
If you think any summit would offer only vegan food, you would think it would.
Well, at least good vegan options, not even only vegan food. I understand like not everyone can, whatever, but still like have options.
Yeah.
And that should be a really important topic of discussion. We see like. This has been happening a lot where there are like these fundraisers for like health, like the Heart Foundation and things like that. And then what's served there is like meat and like steaks and things like that.
Yeah.
How is that good for your heart? Even if you wanted, like, there has to be, people are just, again, really disconnected from this whole thing. You go to like all these websites and their recommended things are like all these high fatty foods and things like that. And we know now that it's been proven wrong that these things aren't actually good for you.
Yeah. I want to ask you about your cookbook, but before that, I want to talk to you about industries and just like, how from a very young age or from generations ago, like we were not brainwashed, but like made to believe that dairy is amazing for you, all the calcium benefits, and then of course eggs and just the benefits that come with these animal byproducts. How did you realize that these are just ways for industries to kind of basically brainwash us?
Yeah, I mean, dairy and meat have really good PR. Whoever is doing that job is doing an incredible job. The marketing is amazing. We've all grown up believing that it's good for your bones and things like that. We now know that dairy has higher links to osteoporosis, which is like a bone issue. So then how come it's like great for your bones, but also causing osteoporosis.
Yeah, and acne, PCOS.
Well, okay, all that comes from being lactose intolerant. I mean, almost 70% of the world's population is lactose intolerant. Our bodies aren't built for drinking milk, especially the way milk is produced now. And if we look at like Asian areas, that.
But what do you mean by the way milk is produced now? If you could just clarify.
Well, there's a lot of hormones in them now, and like the feed of what the cow. I mean, it's mass, right? Like there's so many cows all packed together. It's an industry now, and it's like it's basically factories. It's factory farming. Before, like we could see that there was like you had a milkman. Yeah. And it was like you knew that person, and you would like come and drop it off, and then that's it. And then the next day that milk is gone. It's another one. Yeah. It's fresh. It's all that. But now there's so many things added to milk, and there's so many like injections given to the cow itself
to impregnate them in the first place.
Yeah. There's all that artificial insemination, all that. So, so milk was always not. I mean, right now more than ever is not great for you. The debate we hear about like soy giving you like hormones is very much like it's baseless, because you'd see every vegan guy like be very feminine, I guess, but it's not like it doesn't make sense. There's so many like vegan bodybuilders.
Some of the biggest athletes? Could you name some of the biggest athletes who are vegan?
Yeah, they're all. I mean, there's Lewis Hamilton, for example, like one of the best, and then there's like so many now.
Kohli.
Yeah, Virat Kohli as well. So there's so many now that are like coming up, and you're like, their performance is incredible. Yeah. So where do they get their protein? Where do they get their B12?
100%.
Why aren't they weak? Why aren't they like whatever? So we're seeing that there is a link between performance and that. And so dairy is one of those things where we're all lactose intolerant. So why are we still doing that? And then even if you aren't lactose intolerant, you are a little bit. It's just different levels of it. You do feel like a bit drowsy after eating food. You like, I want to go to bed or something like that. Like there are different levels of it. You get bloated or you get gassy or whatever. All these things that food isn't supposed to make you feel like that. Yeah. It's meant to energize you, not tire you.
But just because you're so used to that, and your body is so used to it, and your mind is so used to it, and they're very, very seldom you find substitutes in the market for it, especially when you just go out to like a fast food joint. Yeah. Like there are no substitutions, so you just get what you can find, and of course the affordability plays into factor and so many things. But tell us about your cookbook. Last we heard you were in the midst of writing one. Have you completed?
Well, no, we're like it takes a long time, and also because we're posting so many on Instagram, we want to make sure that whatever we put in the cookbook is not
exclusive.
Yeah, it's not like anywhere else.
Okay.
And so we put aside, like we'll make maybe 5 recipes in the studio, and then we'll put like 2 aside for the book.
Your editing on Instagram is so good, by the way. So it's your team.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, I've been really fortunate to have a strong enough team, but
incredible.
We've been blessed with like having a beautiful space, which does most of the job, and then all that editing also plays in. But we're getting better with every video. We're all learning. Even my team, we're all just sitting and watching tutorials and figuring out how to edit while we're editing.
That's amazing. And how old are you?
I'm 23.
Look at that. I literally guessed your age before you came on. I'm like, I think he's 23, and he's just so, well achieved and so
we
inspiring.
Have a lot more to do. But
Of course, very inspiring though. But do you have a message for all those who just go like, no, like I'm a hardcore meat eater. I'll never go vegetarian, vegan. Like any message to those kind of comments?
Yeah, never say never, and honestly, just give it a go. Like, no one's telling you to change your whole way of living. Just try it one meal at a time. Maybe do a meatless Monday. Once a week. Like, just open up your mind to meat not being at the center of your plate.
Yeah, and why would you say that? Like, what are the 3 benefits? You can just say these are the hard benefits of going vegan, be it health, be it environment, be it animals. Like, what would you?
So, it's great for the animals. There's no cruelty involved when you're on a plant-based diet. Veganism is a lot more than a diet. It's a lifestyle, right? So it means you don't wear products that come from animals. You don't use products that come from animals, whether it's skincare, whether it's shampoos, all these things. And what that does is it kind of like makes your whole skincare routine natural, right? Like everything you're doing is natural, and that's how we used to do it back in the day. Now there's so many chemicals in everything. There's so much testing. Like we shouldn't have to test things that are going to go on our body.
Yeah.
And yeah, so it's great for the planet. A lot of land is cleared out to raise cattle, which we're then just going to eat and kill and all that. So it's pretty wasteful. As an industry, there's a lot of methane that goes up into the atmosphere. In terms of climate change, it's not great. And then for your health, this is like the cleanest I've ever eaten. Obviously, I still eat junk food, and there are ways of doing veganism wrong, for sure. But I think the amount of like food security I have now from like knowing exactly what's on my plate, and where, like, this is the protein, this is the fiber, this is the carbs, like I know all of that. Obviously I'm not calculating it, but I can look at a food group and be like, this is a balanced plate. I know exactly everything I need is on this plate, and that's it. And like every meal becomes fuel rather than something that I'll just eat once and then feel like
you just gotta like binge and binge and
binge.
And
you can still binge vegan food for sure. I've had those days.
But
at least at the end of the day, you're not eating to eat. You're eating to.
And it really does. It just increases mindfulness in so many ways. And just makes your body feel clean and all that. Like all I'm learning from your page.
Thank you.
And where can people follow you if they want to, just have a look at your recipes and have a look at your content?
So it's at PrunchMe. So Prunch actually stands for brunch with pre.
Okay.
So it's Prunch.
Prunch.
Yeah. So PRUNCH.
Punch with an R.
ME. Yeah. Yeah. Punch with an R.
Okay. Prunch
like
and then underscore.
No, it's just PrunchMe. Yeah.
PrunchMe.
Yeah.
Okay, that's where you can follow Priyansh, PrunchMe on Instagram, and that's all the platforms.
That's all the platforms, yeah.
Facebook, TikTok. Are you on TikTok?
Yes, we are on TikTok.
Oh, perfect. You guys can catch him on all these platforms. Make sure to check out his content. And definitely you will not, there is no chance you will leave that page not drooling. Thank you so much for joining us on the show, Priyansh.
Thank you.
Guys, catch us same time, same place tomorrow. And hopefully Shahil will be back. So there's that. Goodbye from me.
This show is brought to you by the Augustus Media Podcast Network. Thank you for listening, and I hope you enjoyed it.